Hello and welcome to another version review. It's right on the cusp of the new version coming out, but what can you do when, well, you don't have a PC for a whole last month? Anyways, welcome to the 4.5 version review. Now, this version was looking very boring and filler from just the release stream, right? The stream they did, and it very much delivered on that. Compared to 4.4 with Chen Yu Veil and Lantern Rite, where it was looking pretty nice and promising, and unfortunately kind of failed. This one we all knew was gonna be a really huge flop, but I mean, it's understandable because there was no new area. That's fine. Also no quests of importance whatsoever. Although this could have been the perfect time for a Dane quest, but no, we got nothing of that. Right? Many will categorize this version as a filler version, but I also have to say, what exactly is a filler version, right? For me, I mean, no new area, plus again, as I said, no quest of importance definitely seems like filler. Even if we categorize this version as filler, doesn't mean it's gotta suck, right? But yeah, like I thought this would have been a perfect time to get a Dane quest in because it's been like half a year since the Fontaine quest fully finished, and it's exactly the time to, I don't know, go forward with the main storyline. Because I don't know if you've noticed, the main storyline for the Traveler has not gone forward since 1.5. Because any Dainsleif quest after we will be reunited has to do with the past, or has no effects whatsoever on the present. So the storyline is not going forward. So yeah, that's why I thought that this could have been perfect, but still gotta wait. It's not even in 4.6, goddammit. Anyways, we only got events to talk about, and spoilers, all of them sucked ass, so let's immediately begin. Actually, get the shit off the screen, and welcome to fucking Puzzle Bobble. And you're asking, what the fuck is going on? Well, one of the minor events was very much a worse version of this arcade game, and that's a perfect excuse to use this game as background footage. And speaking of that event, it was horrendous. You had to shoot slimes that slowly moved towards you, and instead of controlling the shooter directly, you had to turn it using your character, which meant that the controls were reversed. Because you went right, you pushed the shooter right, but the actual like point of shooting, like the barrel, whatever you want to say, went to the left. So that was horrendous, and it also meant it was pretty annoying to control because you had to actually move a physical object to aim. And all in all, the event was boring as fuck. There wasn't anything interesting about it, unlike the actual Puzzle Bobble series, that does require more than one brain cell to beat. Yeah, there was nothing good in this event. Just spam shooting randomly would give you the exact same results as trying to be more methodical, and even then, there wasn't any fun in that. Yeah, horrendous. Just wow. And now we can jump to the main event, which I could have grabbed some footage, I will be honest, but I would rather not inflict absolute boredom through this video using footage of the main event, because holy fuck, this event sucked so much. The main event in version 4.5 was this potion making event, where you had ingredients, and you had to place them in a square grid, and you had to try to fill the entire square. The more ingredients you managed to fill within the grid, the better the potion was. The ingredients had different affections, so depending on what you used, the potion would have set effects. Say, you know, like, I don't even remember, like, I think there was charm, and there was like a heart symbol thingy, you know, swiftness or whatever, you know, that kind of stuff. The problem... Right. First of all, you most likely have played like a mobile game or a flash game where you have to, you know, put things in a grid, or a fucking just real IRL puzzle with shapes, right? But the problem in this event is that they decided to tie an economy management game to the potion making, where you had to make specific potions to satisfy the demands of the market and actually make profit. Why? There was also management of ingredients, where you had to plant and harvest ingredients, and that was fine actually, because it makes sense, but everything else was so absolutely extra. And the worst offender of them all in this event was the legit unbelievable amount of text. Holy fuck. I bet you could write a whole ass light novel series with how much text was in the tutorials for the event and the amount of tutorials that there were. And just the abundance, the absolute abundance of filler text. So much shit was explained so badly for the simplest stuff. It was just a horrendous, absolute horrendous experience all around, and the weapon we got is very, very niche, but it has given us some funny fan art. Yeah, the event sucked so much. Making the potions was mostly absolutely just mainly boring. But then having a stupid economy management on top of that is like, what the fuck? And there were like 50 things to manage. And it's like, why? Why the fuck would you do this? It was, if it wasn't just a horrendous experience that you just hated, it was boring, so abhorrently boring that it just ruined it completely. And like there wasn't any story at all, but like, yeah, just my goodness. Next up, because yeah, that's the main event. Next up is the phase trials. This event before wasn't that liked because it was a, in quotes, combat event, but you just one-shot every enemy using the mechanic of the event, which in previous versions was just take a photo of the enemies and they just explode. This time, it's the exact same, but you only have two characters which you cannot choose. All of these stages had a pair of characters that if you had, you could use, else you were using trial characters. And now they decided to make the event like super hot, where time moved only if you moved, for no real reason at all. And instead of just taking photos of the enemies, you had to use skills or bursts, then immediately stop moving, use the camera, and then aim the camera in a way that your character blocked these orbs that would spawn to trigger the effect. Why? Why did they overcomplicate this dumb event? Just very, very bad. The combos of characters were just bad, and I mean, it's just a combo. Like, Genshin is built on having 3 or more characters, right? In order to have, like, a lot of nice synergies. Just the 2 characters isn't gonna be that much fun. And most importantly, it didn't fucking matter, because you just one-shot every enemy, and they just, for no reason, made you do 50 more steps to, again, just one-shot the enemies compared to previous versions of the event. Like, why? Why? And oh boy, we get to the next event. Get ready for it, because it was cats. That's it. I'm not joking. The entire event was about cats. Yeah. In this action-adventure RPG, open world, that's exactly what people want to do. Can you tell this version was just thrown in the trash, immediately as it was, made for development? Yeah, that's why I'm calling this version ultimate filler. Yeah, and those are the events. Like, why? I said this, even if they decide that X version is going to be filler and not have any super important thing for new areas or quests, there's no reason to fill it with garbage. But that is most likely never going to change. This version sucked so badly, and it was hellishly boring to go through. That's the main problem of filling it with garbage. Like, even if it is a filler version, again, in quotes, filler, why should it be so painful to go through this version instead of, I don't know, fun? Because that's the problem. If they're not going to introduce some sort of permanent addition to the game that fills in the time and excitement, or whatever, just has people, just put something for people to do inside of the game. If it isn't a temporary event, well, then you need to make the temporary events actually good in order to, again, not just lose people. Because I bet you, skip this version, nothing is going to change, right? Like, that's the idea. Like, why? Aren't you trying to use FOMO? I don't know. Like, it's so weird that they just say, okay, this version is filler, just dump garbage in it and just move on. And it's like, why? Like, this shows you don't care about your product. Anyway, thank fuck 4.6 is looking interesting. We got the Arlecchino boss. We have a new area. Like, things are looking somewhat up. But of course, that doesn't necessarily, of course, mean the version is going to be good, right? The boss. I mean, honestly, the track record of weekly bosses has been suck to more suck in the last 3, or all of them, honestly. So I'm not having super high hopes for Arlecchino's boss. And then the new area, I mean, doesn't look huge, but maybe, it's Enkanomiya-esque vibes might actually make it a fine and, like, cool place to explore. That's it. Quick 10 minutes of just garbage that was thrown at us for a month plus. I mean, what can you do, right? Ask anybody if they think that this version was actually good. Like, you very well know nobody was excited for this. Fucking cats, man. They put a fucking cat event in where you did nothing, absolutely nothing, except for fucking pet cats. You knew, again, they were wasting just the tiniest amount of time on this version. Just ship it as fast as possible. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video, most likely an Abyss thingy or something. I might be actually will be late, because I'm going to a Comic-Con thingy, which isn't just about comics, it's for anime and other shit, and they do a lot of cool events, so I'll be there. Anyways, thank you. I'll see you in another video.